to this installment of Virtual Tastings here at Henry & Son with yours truly, Jill Mott. On the docket today, Spanish grapes that have gone elsewhere, Quirksville, Natty, all the things we love here at Henry & Son. The first wine, we're going to go down under. Now, we did a down under series a few installments ago, and we featured a wine by Dave Geiser, who's an awesome force in natural wines, in transparent, honest winemaking, and great grape growing, for that matter, down in southern Australia. And this project is no exception. He's got a project called Yeti and the Coconut. That's right, Yeti and the Coconut. Yeti is his sort of nickname. He was coined that by one of his friends. And him and his friend Cohen Jensen's, they worked together in the cellar to make the wine. Cohen is more on the sales side of things and kind of making things happen behind the scenes. And then Dave is in charge, of course, of working with a lot of the vignerons and growing grapes himself to make sure that they're working with fantastic quality fruit, sustainable fruit, and then they meet in the cellar and make magic happen. Well, they allow the grapes to make magic happen because they're doing only native ferments, unfiltered wines, things we love here at Henry & Son, very low sulfur additions. This is a grape called Doradillo, or Doradilla, which sort of means like the little golden one. And as you can see, it's got quite a bit of color. Doradillo is a grape that hails from southeastern Spain, in Malaga. And in about the 1800s or so, early 1800s and mid 1800s, a lot of Spanish and Portuguese grape varietals were shipped over to Australia to make a go at a lot of fortified wines. That was sort of all the rage in this 1800s, early 1900s, and even to some extent the late 1900s. We saw a bit of that trickle into the 2000s. And Doradillo was a grape that was known for sort of tossing it in some aromatic wines, but tossing it in fortified wines. Here, Dave and Cohen wanted to showcase what the grape can do on its own. So what they did was, fantastically, they decided to take 1/3 of it and press it, direct to press. They did a third whole cluster, and then the last third they destemmed. And they put those all on the skins for about 5 months. And I mean, just check out this color. It looks like apricots that are almost perfectly ripe, but it also looks like literally a gold ring, like a tarnished gold ring. It's like one of the most beautiful colors I've ever seen in a wine. This is a 2020, so brand new wine, just landed, complete with some great sediment and all. They let it rest for about 5 months in stainless steel because it was, had much more sediment than it does now. And then they bottled it. Let's give it a smell. I've never smelled anything like it. It smells like right before caramel actually gets sweet. It smells like a little bit of butter. Wow, and it smells like ferns. It smells like a little bit of pine or wisteria, like a little bit of an aromatic blossom of sorts. Oh, and almost like this touch of a sour beer note. It's really quite interesting. Almost like it has oak, but there isn't any oak here. Thank you, Yeti and the Coconut. Woo! This is light as a feather. It's very light-bodied, flirting with medium-bodied. Has just this faint amount of tannin, a really playful palate. This would be gorgeous with a nice winter salad or roasted vegetables, things like that. It has a little, if you love bitter cordials or spirits like chinar, it's got this kind of artichoke-y little vegetal nature too, with you think it might be bitter, but then it's definitely not bitter on the palate. Oh, what a gorgeous wine with a mix of so many different flavors: kombucha, grapes, wisteria, ferns, sour beer. Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. I'm gonna put it away so that I don't pour myself even more. Next, we're gonna go to Portugal. Yes, Natty, Portugal has arrived finally in Minneapolis, finally here at Henry & Son, one of 2 places in the city you can find it. And this is thanks to, flip over my notes in case I need them, Quinta do Boa Vista. The reason why I'm focusing on this today is because the main grape in both of these wines is Mencia. And Mencia, they call it Jaén in Portugal, but Mencia hails from Salamanca, around León, which is northwest of Madrid, very close to the Portuguese border. At some point, it probably flip-flopped the border around, but for all intents and purposes, it's considered a Spanish grape. If you cross the border from Salamanca in León and get over to Portugal, we're in the region of the Dow, which the Dow is known for mineral, schist-smelling, dark wines that are quite full-bodied, quite robust. Here we have João Tavares da Pina to thank for these beautiful wines, because he's taking Mencia to a whole nother level. His vineyards are all tended to organically. He is a huge proponent of biodiversity. He's got myriad different flowers and trees and just a great ecosystem happening around his 18th century farmhouse. His winery is located, in his farmhouse and his vineyards, between a mountain range and the Atlantic Ocean. So you have this area that's quite protected, and you have moderate winters and moderate summers, which means you don't have a lot of this really sun-baked fruit that can make really high alcohol wines. These are actually only 11.5%, which is a godsend in an area where usually the wines can be delicious, but they can be really thick and really dark and quite tiresome to drink, a couple glasses if you're really enjoying yourself. We'll talk first about the Lero Lero 2019. Lero Lero means chit-chat in Portuguese, and he's mixing 95% Mencia with just a little bit of a native grape to Portugal called Rufete. And this is just done very brief fermentation and maceration. It's all done in stainless steel, so it's nice and sprightly, easy drinking, a really fun wine, but that's very pure. It's absolutely not filtered, and there's very low sulfur, only added at bottling. And if you're really just looking for something beautiful to drink, and you love Spanish wines, and you're wondering where has natural Portuguese been my whole life, right here, friends, right here. Thank you, João Tavares da Pina. We'll go to the tretas. Tretas means a word in English that I can't say on national television, aka our YouTube channel. We'll try to make this for the kiddos, but not really, because you have to be 21 or older. Anyway, I'm just trying to be PC. Tretas is a 80% Mencia, sprinkled a little bit of Rufete, and then another grape that is native to Portugal, Touriga Nacional, which, if you know port, Touriga Nacional gives body, gives girth, gives dark fruit components, a little bit more depth and color as well. And if you were to pour these side by side, which I've had them open for up to 4 days, they're delicious. The Tretas is a little bit deeper. It's aged for a little bit of time in some old oak, so you got a little bit more guts on the mid palate and a little bit darker fruit on the nose and palate. It's got, it seems like it's a little heavier, even though technically it's not. They're both the same amount of alcohol, right around 11.5, but it does have a little bit more robust tannins because of the fact that it gets some of that from the wood and the Touriga Nacional. And absolutely gorgeous wines that the grapes have been fermented together, so they marry really well in the bottle, and just a joy to drink. So from my glass to yours, here's to enjoying some incredible Spanish grapes gone elsewhere, South Australia, and Portugal, and here's to happy drinking in February. Thanks, folks. Stay safe.